la salsa, que nos divirtamos y entendamos que pues para que, digámoslo, para que una receta sea exitosa, pues todos los ingredientes aportan algo para que la receta quede rica, quede deliciosa y no sepa rico. Eso mismo pasa en el trabajo. Todos aportamos algo, todos ponemos un granito de arena para lograr esos objetivos que tenemos. Entonces, para, digámoslo, para cerrar este mes del servicio, pues tenemos esta actividad. Como saben, vamos a tener un giveaway que se va a hacer este día viernes. Para poder hacer este giveaway o participar, mejor dicho, y ganar los premios que tenemos, que son tres, debemos haber hecho el curso de trabajo en equipo, que es un curso súper rápido. Debemos de seguir a la fundación, comentar la foto que hay allí y obviamente participar en el MasterClass, que los que están aquí pues ya tienen ese abonado. Listo, entonces a divertirse, a pasar rico, los dejo en manos de Ceci y de Cris. Entonces, muchas gracias pues por estar aquí.
Okay. So, hello, everyone. I know I can't hear anyone, so I'm just going to go ahead. So my name's Chris.
We'll hear you well, Chris.
Yeah, perfect. So my name's Chris. I'm from England. I have traveled all across the world, and I actually got taught this recipe by an Italian in England when he was working for me. So if everyone, I don't know how many of you are actually going to follow along cooking as well. So let me know if you have any questions. I have my chat open, so I'll try and keep an eye on the chat as well. So any questions or anything, please let me know. So yeah, are you ready to start? Yeah,
we're ready.
Okay. So depending on how many people you have or how you're cooking for, you want to base it on about 1 medium egg per 1 person. So I'm doing for 2 today. So I'm doing 2 eggs, and you want to do for each egg 100 grams of flour, roughly. It's all going to be done by eye, so we're going to like kind of mix and match in a bit to make the right consistency of the dough. So first of all, I'm just going to lower this down. Okay, so you want to pour your flour. I've got 200 grams here for 2 people. You're probably going to make more than 2 people with the 200 grams, but pour the flour onto the work surface. And you just want to make a little well in the middle of the flour. Then you want to crack your egg. Try and crack it on a flat surface so that the shell can go inside. Just crack your egg and put them straight in the middle. Maybe not like that. And then you want to mix it all together. Get your hands stuck in. Right, this is the messy part. You want to have some more flour on hand as well, just in case it starts, you need a little bit more because it gets a little bit dry, or a little bit of water in case it gets a little bit too, a little bit of water in case it gets too dry, a little bit of flour in case it's too wet. So this is the messy bit. You want to rub it off your hands. I actually forgot to add something in right now. Something very important. So you want to make sure you sprinkle a good amount of salt in. Salt is very important. It will really help enhance the flavors. And if you do have one, you can use a bench scraper to just form it back into the middle. And then keep going with your hands again, just folding it over. Until it all starts to come together. It will feel quite crummy at first, but it will eventually come together. Even the bits on your hands as well will eventually come off and back into the dough. Right, and when you're folding it together, you want to use the palm of your hand. Just fold it over, and then you push it forward again, fold it over, push it forward. And you want to keep doing this over again. You can do it with this hand and do double. But you'll slowly feel it start to come together, forming a more of a smooth ball. This is a good workout as well. We're going to be doing this for at least 5 minutes. So you don't need to go to the gym today. So if you feel your dough is still quite sticky, you want to add a little bit more flour to it. And if it is too dry, it all depends on how old your flour is or how new your flour is. And it also depends, sometimes you might be using big eggs or small eggs. But you just go by the feel of it. If it's too sticky, then add some flour. If it's too dry, add a touch of water. And I mean a touch, because that flour will really get hydrated. So yeah, this is probably what scares people from making homemade pasta, because it takes quite a bit of effort just for the kneading section. But it's so much better making fresh homemade pasta than buying it from the store. And also, you don't need a machine for this one, because I don't even have a pasta machine. So you want to keep going until you've worked up a sweat. Just to let you know, this is my first time live streaming, so you might have to excuse me if not everything goes to plan. If there's a few of you in one room, I suggest taking it in turns to knead the dough, share the workload. You can use this method with any kind of flour you want as well. Actually, I forgot to mention my flour is just general all-purpose flour. You want to stay away from the bread flour, what's called in the store, or you can use wholemeal flour if you want to try and go a bit more of a healthy route. So yeah, you want to keep going. As you can see, it's starting to get quite smooth now. Just a little bit more to go. This is why all Italian mamas have really strong arms, They live on olive oil and work their, instead of going to the gym, just work out making pasta. So I don't know how many of you are actually following along cooking today, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to or even unmute and just speak out loud if you want to ask me anything.
I don't know how many are going, but over here we're doing great.
Yeah? Is it coming together?
Yes, it's coming together.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's if anyone has ever made bread before, it's not meant to feel like bread. It's going to be a lot denser dough than bread. So it might feel like it's never going to turn into something you'll want to eat because it's quite, well, yeah, it's quite dense, but it will. Because it's not meant to like rise like bread, so it's not full of air. Okay, so you want to keep going until you get the dough to something like this, and you want to check it. If you just touch it slightly, it should spring back. I don't know if you can see that with mine, but if you just give it a little poke, it springs straight back. Then it's ready. So just form it into like a disc ball style thing. Get yourself a little bit of plastic wrap. We're just going to leave it out at room temperature for a little bit, just to rest, to let all that gluten and flour relax. This will give you a good time to catch up if you're going along, or if you'd like any questions again now, there's a good time for me to answer. But also, we need to clean down a little bit to move on to the next section. And probably wash your hands as well. Okay, so like I say, if anyone's got any questions, let me know while we clean down a little bit. Because we're going to be rolling the pasta out on the desk again, so you want to make sure that you're not got any leftover like flour and stuff like that. You want it to be nice and clean. And well, I guess I'll take this time just to say that I do have a YouTube channel, if anyone's interested. I did start just before the pandemic last year, making random recipes and stuff, and anything that I've learned over the years of being a chef. And so, yeah, coming up just over 3,000 subscribers right now. So any help, or if you're interested with that, would be absolutely appreciated. So fancy checking it out, go for it. I'm pretty sure you've been sent the link already, but yeah, so a couple more things we need to do.
I'll put the link. I'll send in the chat the link of your YouTube channel in a moment.
Perfect.
I really recommend it, guys. He is great in all of the recipes that he makes.
So, I mean, I don't know if you can see, I've got a couple of things going at the back, some fermentations and stuff going up for upcoming videos, so it should be quite good. Ah, nice, you got some pictures sent through, very good. Nice one. Yeah, keep sending more pictures, that's good. So while we're waiting for the pasta to rest, we need to fill up a pan of water. Yeah, make sure you fill up a pan of water on the back. Let that start warming up while we're making the rest of it. And just put a good pinch of salt in. So don't be scared of putting too little or too much salt in. The water actually needs to taste a little bit salty. Not so much that you don't like it, but you need to be able to taste that salt in the water. So, onto the next little step, just while we're resting the pasta. Get yourself a bowl. And I'm going to go back down here again. So, get yourself a bowl. And again, for each person in your, however many you're cooking for, is 1 egg. So, we're going to crack another, well, in my case, 2 eggs for me. Then into that, we're going to grate some Parmesan. You want to make sure you grate it on the smallest setting you do have on your grater. So I've just got some Parmesan that we used from the other day, and it doesn't really matter how much Parmesan you want to put in. If you like it cheesy, put a bit more in. Just be careful that Parmesan is quite salty. We're also going to finish the dish with a bit of Parmesan as well, so make sure you save some left over for the top. Okay. So we're just going to put that straight in with the egg. And then the next thing, again, is just another huge thing for preference. Depending on how much pepper you like, you can put as much or as little as you want in. The original carbonara does come quite peppery. It's the idea is the bacon and the pepper and the cheese and the egg all combine to make like a beautiful peppery emulsion sauce. So I like mine quite peppery. So make sure, a little tip, I don't know if anyone knew, but just make sure you adjust this. You get the different sizes of black peppers when it grates. So you want to grate your black pepper straight into the Parmesan and egg. Yeah, it takes practice cracking eggs like that, yeah. I used to work in a cafe back when I was 16, and we did like 1 million poached eggs a day. So yeah, I got the hang of cracking with one hand because your other hand's busy doing everything else. So, so you've got the egg, Parmesan, and the black pepper, and we just need to add salt to it in a bit. Not yet, because we don't want the eggs to start being too watery, because we're not using this right now. We need to make the pasta first. So once you've got this, just leave it to the side. Just give your bench a wipe down again. Obviously, the cleaner you work, the more efficient it is. Very good. can see the egg mixes there. Yeah, very good. Okay, so next, I'm not sure what kind of meat you all managed to get. I didn't actually manage to get any pancetta, so I'm using bacon, just smoked bacon. It's absolutely fine. You can use whatever you want. The original recipe is pancetta, and I don't think it's smoked pancetta either. It's just normal pancetta, but that's what cooking's all about. You can mix and match anything. So I'm using smoked bacon. And we don't want to chop this down too thin because there's quite a lot of fat. It will end up shrinking anyway. So you want to actually feel that bacon in the pasta at the final dish. So just cut it into like random squares. I would say you're looking at about 2 slices per person, or if you want more, add 3 per person, but you know, it's up to you. And then we can just like slightly start to separate a little bit, just so when it hits the pan, it doesn't all like cook together, it cooks separate. Also, if you ever wanted to make pasta and then wanted it the next day, this dough will rest beautifully in the fridge. Just make sure you take it out maybe at least 45 minutes before you start rolling it out the next time for it to soften up a little bit. But it'll actually develop like a different flavor as well the next day if you leave it overnight. But make sure you wrap it, otherwise it will dry out in the fridge. But we can leave our bacon like this, and then again, just leave that to the side. Make sure we wash our hands. For the next little bit of prep, we're going to do some parsley. And I don't know if you all know this trick, but just to make sure that everyone is cutting safely, if you've got a wet paper towel or a damp paper towel, always make sure you put that underneath your board just to stop it sliding, to give you more security. So with a bit of parsley, you want to just bunch up the leaves together, like this. And then just loosely, I don't want to go too fine with it. Just run your knife over the leaves, nice and simple. Nothing too fancy, nothing too fine, just like that. And then again, just leave that to the side. So how are we all doing? Anyone got any questions or anything so far? Everyone caught up? No? Well, I'm gonna have to say, oh, we got a question? Well, I'm just going to say that England won today, so I'm really happy. We beat Germany, of all people, so you know. It's a pretty good day for football anyway. So yeah, we just give it another minute just to make sure everyone's caught up. We've got the bacon on the side, the parsley chopped, the egg mixture. Oh, I actually forgot to say, with the egg mixture, grab yourself a fork and just give it a little whisk together. Yeah, you should have something like this. So yeah, just give another minute to let everyone make sure everyone's caught up, and then we'll start rolling out the dough. What a game. It was good, yeah. Not quite as good as yesterday's with France and Spain and everything, but yeah, England and Germany, it's always going to be a good game. We've not beaten them for the last 3 times in knockout competitions, so yeah, we got our revenge now, so that's good. We can go on and win it. Don't know if anyone's into football. Well, you're probably watching Copa America, but the Euros are better. Okay, very good. Nice one, perfect, already. Okay, so now we've let it rest for a little bit. Ideally 30 minutes, but I'm not going to keep you all here for 30 minutes to try and let the pasta dough rest. So we're going to have to do our best a little bit shorter time. So you want to get the pasta dough, have a nice clean work surface again. And you just want to unwrap it. And then if it's a little bit sticky now, you'll see it's like rested, it's like more pliable, right? Make sure you have a little bit of flour just laid down in front of you. And just throw a little bit of flour down. Just lightly dust the ball as well. And then, not sure if you all have one, hopefully you do, but a rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, you could try with a pan, maybe, I don't know. Or you could use maybe a roll of cling film, that works quite well. You've probably not got one that big, but it'll still work. But you want to start just lightly tapping it out. This could take a while because you might see it springing back. So we just need to take our time and be patient with it. I mean, ideally, if you're going to make pasta in the future quite a lot at home, get yourself a machine. I'm hopefully going to get one soon. But if I get a machine, my wife says I'm going to have to go to the gym. So it's either make pasta or go to the gym. So yeah, just start rolling it out. Try and keep it like a rectangle shape if you can. That way we're going to get nice tagliatelle pieces when we start cutting it. If you're having trouble and you see it springing back, just give it a second, just to rest it. You should like start to release some of the gluten to let it roll out a little bit easier. So yeah, just keep rolling till you get quite a thin sheet of dough. I mean, it's okay if it's quite thick as well. Just might need to cook it for a little bit longer. It might have a bit more of a chew to the pasta in the end. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's a reason the pasta's full of carbs. It's because it's a full-on workout just to make the thing. So yeah, when you're happy or nearly happy with how thin the pasta is, right? So when you got it to like this, there's a nice thin sheet. You can almost start to see through with your fingers. Just again, we're just going to let it rest, because it will spring back. As you can see, it's probably stuck to the table a little bit now, and that's holding it in place. So just give it just another minute like this. Just while we're waiting, we're going to dust. Make sure we dust over with flour, because when we fold it over in a second, that'll stop it from sticking together. Or an empty bowl would do the job as well. Yeah, I've just seen that now. Anything that's that shape. Okay. So now we've let it rest. You can go out a little bit thinner as well if you want. But obviously the longer you let it rest, the thinner you can get it, because then it won't stretch back too much. But obviously we're not going to be here all night, so we're going to start by just folding over, making sure that we're dusting every fold in between. And then because this is homemade pasta, it's going to be a little bit rustic. It's going to be a little bit maybe misshapen, but that's good because it's all part of the uniqueness to each individual pasta. So once you've got it to this stage, make sure, well, you can cut it as thin as you want as well. Like, we're not doing spaghetti here. We're going to be doing like more of a tagliatelle, but if you want maybe more of a pappardelle, you can go a little bit wider. Or if you want to go full on wide, you can go with like a lasagna sheet. You can just start slicing it a little bit thicker as well. But we're going to go about tagliatelle here. So you want it something maybe like that, or thinner if you want, however thin or thick you like. Okay. This is where having a wooden table would really come in handy. The knife on the marble worktop is probably not the best. But once you've got it like this, you want to gently unravel them all, making sure that they're all still very coated in flour. And from here, you could literally freeze these for another day. Just roll them up into a nest like we're going to do in a second and freeze them. And then you have like ready-made pasta on hand whenever you need. Or you could actually dry them. You can air dry them and they will actually stay in the cupboard. Once they've dried out for maybe half a day, just hang them over, maybe on a coat hanger or something like that. Sounds weird, but you could just dry them out and then they could last in your pantry for up to a week, maybe even longer if you really get them dry. So yeah, you'll see them all like kind of contracting a little bit as well. That's because we haven't rested it for the full 30 minutes. But it also means that you might just have a little bit of a bite to the pasta, which is also quite nice. Sometimes it's nice to have a bit of body. Okay, so once you've got all your pasta, this could be a long job if you've got a family of 6 or 7 or something like that, you know. Luckily, I'm only cooking for 2 tonight. But you want to grab a good portion. And then just wrap it round your hand. Form it into a nest, and that'll just sit nicely on the work surface, ready to use. Okay. So I'll just give you a second to catch up. So how's everyone doing?
Over here, we're doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so while we're leaving the pasta on the side here, we're going to go over to the pan and so you've got one pan on the back, ready with the hot water. You want another pan, depending on obviously how many people you're cooking for, but another one about this size. Get it on a medium-high heat. And then, because the bacon or the pancetta, or whatever you plan on using, I mean, you can use anything you want with this technique. Use chorizo, different sausages, different anything you want, basically. Even some chicken, make sure you got some chicken with some chicken skin or something that will release a lot of the oils. But you need something that's quite oily, that's going to release and help flavor the sauce at the end. So we're just going to start warming this up. Give it a second, and then we're going to put the bacon straight in. Okay. So you want to start cooking the bacon down, or the pancetta, until it starts to get slightly crispy. That looks very good as well. Very nice. So yeah, when it starts to release all that fat, and then we're going to cook it a little bit, start to get crispy, and that's where we can move on to the next stage. Also, at this point, if you want to add any vegetables or anything to it, I mean, traditional carbonara, it's literally just the bacon, parsley, and parmesan with black pepper. That's like the traditional way. But if you want to add any other vegetables or anything to it, mushrooms and stuff go really nice in it. Don't tell the Italians, but you can do whatever you want. Okay, so I'm going to bring you with me over here. And if you can see, hopefully you can see it there. It's a bit awkward with the laptop, but yeah. So we've got our water on at the back. So we're going to make sure we turn that up and get that on a rolling boil. And you can see our bacon is starting to get crispy and releasing all that fat. Also, a good tool to have, because this process is going to be really, really fast. So have a ladle close by, because we're going to use some of the pasta water at the end as well to help emulsify with the sauce. But it's all going to happen really, really fast, because the eggs, when we finally put the eggs in, we don't want them to cook. We just want them to emulsify. So we're going to be turning off the heat, mixing really fast, and then straight onto the plate. So you have to be ready with, oh, and if you have tongs as well, get some tongs. If not, just use anything you can, like a spoon or anything like that. But a ladle would be really useful in a minute as well. So just getting this nice and crispy. Just going to turn that down a little. Okay, and then just waiting for that to come to the boil. It's okay to leave the bacon on the side there. It will just keep rendering the fat out. And then, come on, water. It never boils when you watch it. Okay, so slowly starting coming up to a rolling boil right now. It's only going to take about 90 seconds to actually cook. Right, so there we go. It's really started boiling. You drop your fresh pasta straight in. And then once the pasta's in, well, all the pasta, not just one bit. Once the pasta's in, just give it a little turn on the bottom, just to stop it from sticking. But we're going to wait until this comes back up to the boil again. And then this next step is going to be really fast. If you have trouble bringing it back up to the boil, don't be afraid to get a lid on it. Obviously, that'll help keep the heat inside. You can get the bacon back on the heat again as well. It's gone nice and crispy. And this is smoked as well, so now the whole house smells of smoked bacon. It's awesome. Okay, it's starting to come back up to the boil again. You can see the pasta is starting to expand as well. I don't know if you can actually, see if you can get closer. Yeah, the pasta's actually starting to expand. Just give it a little stir around. Make sure it's all getting cooked evenly. When the whole of the pasta starts to float, that's when you know it's ready. Okay, so we take the lid off now. can see it's nearly all starting to float. Let's give it another 30 seconds. Obviously, depending on how thick your pasta is, it might take 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. This one I think is going to take about 2 minutes to cook, yeah. Yeah, as you can see, the pasta is actually expanded as well. So it's become thicker within the water. It's trying to soak up that water, soaking up that salt as well that we put in the water, giving it all extra flavor. And then we're nearly ready. Give it a 10-second blast with the lid on. And then the next step, you want to be careful because obviously there's hot oil in here. So when the water hits the oil, it might splatter a little bit, but you want to, that's why you want to turn off the heat for that one. Don't empty out the water. You want to just pull the noodles or the pasta straight from there into this one. That's why tongs are ideal. But you want to, if you have to drain it, that's fine, but just make sure you keep some of that water. And we're just going to mix this around together to let that pasta soak up all of that beautiful oil that's come out of the bacon. Now, with the heat off, this is where it goes fast. You want to get your egg mixture, dump it straight in. And then mix fast. This is to emulsify the egg and stop it from scrambling. You can see it turn into a really nice sauce. All right, once you get it like that, add a touch of water and stir again. Yeah, this is where you come a really nice sauce, right? You keep going, keep stirring it, making sure that egg doesn't scramble. We want it to emulsify with the water. Make sure you splash everything as well. Makes it fun to clean up. Okay, I mean, if yours is drier, then add more water in. Or if you like it dry, done. So then, well, we're gonna, if you also, you can leave this on the side for now. Try not to leave it too long. You want to eat it within the next 10-15 minutes, but you can reheat it and just add a touch of water when needed to actually re-saucify. I know that's not a word, but you know, to re-sauce the actual pasta. Okay, so I'm going to put you back over here. Okay, so got our plate ready. And then nice and simply, if you have tongs, like I say, it's easier with pasta. But you want to just kind of twirl it around. You can do this with a fork, nothing fancy. You know, we're just eating at home anyway. You're going to twirl it around, place it in the middle of your plate. Make sure you get some of them bacon bits. Make sure it's fair, you know. Don't want any fighting in the house over them bacon bits. And make sure there's enough sauce as well. Just drizzle a little bit of that sauce over. And then there we go, it's very simple. Grate over however much more parmesan you really want. Touch of the parsley. Drizzle of olive oil. And there you go, nice and simple. Very healthy as well. So, yeah, how are you all doing?
Over here,
Everything
it's
going
great
well?
over here.
Yeah?
Yeah, not quite as pretty as yours, but it seems good.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Well, like I say, if you want more cream, just put a touch more water in and just emulsify. You can turn that heat on again, but not too high because you don't want to scramble. But if you turn the heat on, it will slightly emulsify with the eggs together to thicken. So if you want more sauce, get more sauce. And the other trick is just to put the cream in at the end as well, and just cook it out with a little bit of cream just to finish. Where's the wine? Yeah, I know. I don't know where the wine is. My wife's a sommelier as well, and she hasn't even opened the bottle of wine yet. It's crazy. So, but the Italians have a big fight over it. I know this from working with Italians. In the north of Italy, they put cream in, and in the south of Italy, they don't. But apparently, it was something like a Western invention by putting the cream in, because the English and Americans, they don't like a dry pasta. They like it nice and creamy and everything. But whereas the traditional way, apparently, don't quote me because I don't want the Italians after me, but they do it like this. They emulsify the water with the eggs to make a nice creamy sauce. And that's ready straight away. So yeah, does anyone have any more questions, or does anyone have, how is everyone going? Is anyone making it, sorry, is anyone doing a good job there? Everyone nearly finished?
Las pastas me quedan como... No mandes.
Very good. We've got some pasta cooking. Yeah, very good. Nice rolling boil on the pasta as well. That's very nice.
¿Que le vas a mostrar las tuyas?
Pues sí. Está conectado el...
Ya.
Hi, Chris. Can you see it here?
I can see. Yes. Ah, very good. Very
They
nice.
came out quite thick, but learning experience. Next
No,
time I'll
that's
cut them smaller.
No, that's okay. No worries. Thick is good still as well. It's just a little bit chewier, but it's nice. How's anyone else doing?
Caro. ¿Dónde está Caro?
Chicos, ¿alguien más por ahí que quiera mostrarnos sus pastas?
Caro que estaba muy juiciosa.
Ahorita la tomamos.
Sí. Y está bien parado como...
Ya, pues yo creo que ya.
Sí.
Okay. I don't know who else.
No, is anyone else
Still working on the pasta.
working? No, that's fine. That's fine. No worries. Well, I'd just like to say anyway, thank you for watching and following along. If you do like recipes and want to learn more in the kitchen or anything, then like I say, my channel might be very helpful. I'd really appreciate any support. It's very difficult to.
Can you remind me of your channel?
Yeah, my channel. I'll type it in here. Yeah, so
That will be great, so that we can follow you over there.
It's literally just my name, so it's Christopher Sean. Same on Instagram and Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that. But yeah, the main one is YouTube that I'm trying to grow. So it's a struggle, but it's good. It's good, and it keeps going.
Great.
So I'm getting some good feedback and some really experimenting with some interesting ideas.
Yes, I've seen some of them. The tepache one seems good.
Yeah, yeah. I've got an up and coming. I'm making squirt. Actually, that's what that is up there. There's a bottle of squirt, like basically my own. I'm like inventing it, like fermenting grapefruit and turning it into a squirt, which I'm going to turn into a paloma. Because paloma is like one of my favorite drinks now, so it's amazing.
That's great.
Yeah. So if you want to learn how to do anything like that, please, support the channel. I'll be really appreciated.
Sure.
Okay, sure. What we can do is the ones that have your pastas ready, you can share your stories in Instagram and we can send them to you. So we can get the pictures. You can follow us on the foundation Instagram.
Yeah.
Fundación LFS.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a way that they can tag you in Instagram, Chris, so that they can also tag you when they include their pictures?
Sorry?
Is there a way that they can tag you on Instagram?
Yeah, so I think my one on with an underscore, I think it's like Christopher Sean underscore. That's
Great.
Yeah. Right, we've got a fit. Very good. Nice and creamy, yeah.
Amazing.
Someone says to turn on the cameras and take a picture all together. That would be great.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
For our social media. Cameras on, please.
Yeah, any cameras apparently need to turn on.
Cameraman.
Hi, everyone. Hola, Cami.
Mostranos.
Aquí. Let me show you.
Cata, ¿tú tomas la foto?
Sí, yo la tomo. So,
Aleja, venga al cacao.
Sandy, Jorge.
¿Quién más está cocinando? ¿Cara o Cami?
Con equipo.
Aleja,
José,
mi prima.
con tu cámara.
Here was teamwork. 3 people.
No se me sale ahí sin una foto.
Very good. Another one, yeah. Nice.
Nos va a entrar.